I am essential, and I pledge fidelity to the destruction of my former self. I am not my corporately mandated persona. I am not my material possessions. I am not reliant on authority to tell me what is right and what is wrong. I will not let my value be based on comments, likes, or followers. I will not seek affirmation from toxic groupthink. I will not filter my authenticity of self. I am essential, and I will speak my truth through words and actions. I will wear betrayal as a wound of battle. I will pursue vengeance with a primitive and relentless force. I vow to find freedom. I vow to find purpose. I vow to create something that will last. I am essential, and I control my narrative. Free, EC3.
You have been warned.
What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp. It is May 18th. We are here to talk WWE Raw. And you know what? We got the birthday girl here with us, Denise Salcedo.
The old birthday girl, the almost 30 birthday girl.
Almost 30. Come on.
I'm going to be depressed, by the way, but for now, I'm still happy I'm not 30 just yet.
Well, we're happy that you're here with us. Everybody, please wish Denise Salcedo a happy birthday in the live chat. Go to her Twitter. The handle is in our description. Make sure you tell her a happy birthday there as well. Give her a follow. But if you're here, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe, all that good stuff. You know, it's a good time to be here, but I am, like I said, very happy that you were willing to join us on your birthday, but I mean, there's so many activities to go do right now, Denise.
Well, I mean, yes and no, not really. I made a really bad birthday cake that nobody in my family liked. Well, my grandparents and my fiance didn't like the birthday cake. I didn't like the birthday cake. It was horrible. So by activities, I'm failing at them today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully whenever everything clears up. But we also got some unfortunate news today. There's a search going on for Shad Gaspard, member of Crime Time, as he was pulled in a riptide and has not been seen since. We are hoping for the best for him. And also in the wrestling media community, 411 Mania's Larry Csonka passed away, I believe, last night. He is one of the greatest wrestling reviewers of all time. I have read countless reviews from him. His work ethic was unmatched, and 411 Mania years ago was my go-to, and I would read a lot of his stuff, and I just thought that he was one of the best there was, period. And even today, there was an article that he had written that published about Chris Jericho being AEW's Terry Funk, and I was like, man, that's a fantastic point. He was great. I had nothing but positive interactions with him. Fightful's lead wrestling writer, Jeremy Lambert, was very close with him. And I'm sure that he'll share his thoughts as the week goes on, and he knows Larry much better than I. But I want to send my thoughts out to the family, the friends, the readers, the co-workers of Larry Csonka, and a big thank you to him for bringing integrity to this line of work, because it's very important. And the type of thing that he did was very important to me personally. And I hope the best for his family. It's very unfortunate. And there's no easy segue to go into Monday Night Raw, but we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, and definitely hope for the best for all those situations. But we got some super chats hitting right now. Reminder, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. Anakin JMT says, happy birthday, Denise.
Thank you.
He says, Sean's not fooling anyone after Saturday. He's a hacker confirmed. Denise, I also thought Bob and Crash Holly were real cousins.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but they look more alike than me and my cousins, okay?
They do look a lot alike. They do.
Facts, okay? They were like the same skin color, same hair color, same factions. They looked exactly alike.
They did even have the same tans. So people keep calling me the hacker because I've had a glitch with my audio a couple times lately. When it's not connected properly, it's happened twice off the air, including last Friday, and I have recordings of both of them. But this one happened live on the air, and my voice got really deep and sounded like Barry White. I may or may not have a video of me singing a Barry White song to Warren Hayes before last week's SmackDown. I might release that eventually, but, you know.
So you're the hacker.
That's what people say.
There you go. People are going to start spawning some conspiracy videos like, what is SRS's real identity?
Yeah.
I'm going to start one.
People keep saying that we must have got hacked at the top of the show. Don't know what you're talking about, Hannah. Anita Dick says, don't you just love when they're throwing those axes and they don't show them actually throwing them because the camera pans away? Throwback K-Fed gonna happen. Do you mean Kevin Federline? If so, I don't know what that has to do with this, but let's go ahead and talk about this axe throwing thing, because I thought this was better. I didn't think it was great, but it was better than the basketball thing. It certainly is a hell of a lot better than carpool karaoke. But the Viking Raiders bring Street Profits onto their turf, and they display their axe throwing skills. Obviously, there's a camera cut because I doubt they're that good at it, but it's make-believe, so who cares? Montez Ford throws his forever. Angelo Dawkins throws his into a barrel. Cops get called, and they end up getting off the hook because apparently Ivar's a hottie.
I'm surprised that that's the reason why they got in trouble. There are so many people there, not social distancing,
Right.
not wearing masks. If the cops are showing up, that's what they should be upset about.
You know what? That's a good point, because right now, I'll watch shows, like I'll see the Chicago Bulls parade from 20 years ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people.
Yes, like you're already pre-worried. Like I watch shows
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my God, they hugged. And then I'm like, wait, Denise, that happened years ago.
Yeah, they were allowed to do that back then. But what did you think about these segments that we saw?
So the first thing that I want to say in particular to this segment is that it wasn't horrible. I was kind of excited for it even just because I was like, okay, it's something different. I've never really seen people throw axes before. So, hey, it might be kind of fun to watch.
Really?
I liked it
it's
more.
big out here.
Really, I've never seen it, never done it. And I'll have a second story to that.
Okay.
But the first story is that, the first thing was that essentially I was excited for it and I liked it more than the basketball stuff. It had more interest, it gauged my interest a lot more. But I actually liked the carpool singing with the turkey leg a lot more. I know I'm still the only person that was a fan, but I just thought it was goofy and I actually enjoyed that. So, hey, that's just me. But the second story that I was thinking about was maybe the inspiration for this, because I remember that a while back when I was doing X-Pac 1 to 360, Sean shared a story about how when it was Triple H's birthday party, that was the activity that Vince McMahon was engaged in and was the axe throwing.
Yeah.
And that was actually the first time I had really heard about it. And so I thought, like, how funny that now they have this segment on Raw. And I was just like, what if in some sort of like parallel universe, like maybe they kind of spawned that idea from that. But now that you say that it's really popular, then I guess it's just really popular.
Oh, let me tell you, white people will think of anything that isn't actually athletic to pretend it's a sport. So it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, we've got beanbag cornhole tossing. We've got axe throwing. There's the thing where they got the two golf balls hooked to a string and you just gently toss it. Oh yeah,
That's not like badminton, is it?
No, it's
Okay,
called
I don't know what
hillbilly
that
golf.
is.
Oh my God, there are so many.
Ooh, I am missing out.
White people sports, and admittedly, I sat and watched cornhole on ESPN for 3.5 hours the other day. I was so bored.
Oh my God, is that the one you say with the yarn?
No,
Okay,
no, that's the
No?
beanbag toss.
All right, I'll Google this stuff later on
You've
YouTube.
never played that either?
Played what?
Cornhole, which I know sounds ridiculous.
I've never heard of it until like
It's
this second.
where you have the plywood board with the hole in the middle, and you throw the beanbags from a distance.
No, but I know the ones where you have them on the floor, but not on the wall.
Well, that's
I know
what
on
I
the
said.
floor.
That's what I said. Yeah,
the
it's on
same
the
thing,
floor.
right?
It's on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I know that. Hacky sack. No, that's the other
It's
one.
almost like there are actual things to do in LA.
Yes, other than play games.
Shawnee,
Cornhole games.
Shauna Walensky says, "Happy birthday, Denise. Talk to me when you're 40. You're getting there, Denise. You're almost 40.
Oh, heck no, please.
Well, why not? What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just those people that can't handle aging very well.
No,
There's
man.
two types of people. I'm not that person.
Anita Dick says, "Happy 28th birthday. You look 17.
Thank you, Anita. That's what I need. That's the kind of energy
You want to
I
look
need.
17?
I want to look as young as I can possibly look. All right.
To be fair, if I shaved, I would probably look like 22 or 23. I grew the beard
There
because
you
people
go.
said I looked too young.
See, there you go.
Anakin JMT said, Denise, did you get those white headphones that look like a halo so you look like the angel to Sean's devil?
That's really good. I didn't think about that.
She could be the angel on the shoulder. It would really work.
Halo.
Evan Wright said,
Nice,
starting
Kristen.
the swear jar on the birthday. I don't know. Denise seems like she's in a good mood. I don't think she's doing a lot of cussing these days. I don't know.
Well,
You did some unprompted a couple weeks ago.
Well, I say like one word that's like not even a bad word, and people are like losing it now ever since the swear jar.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like anything that I say that's remotely bad, like people will be like, oh, like this is like heel filthy Denise. Yeah.
Rob Wilkins says, want to offer my condolences to the Csonka family, his friends, 411 crew, and the listeners and readers. Also thoughts to the Gaspard family, friends, and fans. Yeah, those are two really rough situations that there was no way this was going to be a fun. There's no great way to approach that, and I hate it because I've heard nothing but good things about Shad Gaspard, and I've known nothing but good things about Larry, so that's unfortunate.
I think like Twitter, like everything that I've been seeing on Twitter, like the number one thing is like what a nice guy he was. Like it's just like you keep seeing that over and over. And when you keep seeing that, like if you didn't know him, like you just can't help to be like, man, like this must have been like a really nice person. And it's just a terrible story. Like still fingers crossed, believe in miracles.
Matthew Garrett sends a super chat and says, what's up, though? Well, Monday Night Raw, which we haven't really gotten into, because Arthur Steele is saying, happy birthday, Denise. Say Andrade with extra R rolls today.
Andrade! There you go.
That's a professional ring announcer right there.
That was like no effort, but it was like 3 R rolls
and
there.
It's still better. Still better than most of them that I hear. Still better than most of them that I hear. And we got a super chat from Korosami 1997. Do you think WWE will or won't pay Becky while she's gone? They're paying her. Don't be ridiculous. Do you think they want to give her any reason to decide to up and leave at any point? No. Them paying her, hypothetically, $1 million to sit at home and not do anything for them is worth more to them than her a couple years down the line being like, you didn't pay me when I was pregnant? See ya. I'll go somewhere that would value me. They're paying
She's
her.
worth it. She's worth
Yes.
it. And it's freaking me out, the people that I'm seeing that have pointed out any sort of negativity about Becky Lynch doing this. And I'm like, what is she missing right now? There's no crowds. There's no really like hot feud going on right now. If this was going to be a moment for her to start a family, this is it. And like that moment when she chooses to return, that pop that she's going to get from the crowd is just, she's going to come back and people are going to be like, oh my God, it's Becky, it's the man. And that excitement is still going to be there because she reached a certain level of her career that now she's always going to have that. This isn't just like if any ordinary person left, got pregnant, and then came back. Like, no, she made a name for herself. So when she comes back, she is still going to have that. No different than if a man were to get injured and then come back several months afterwards.
Yeah, I agree. I can't find anything negative about Becky Lynch getting pregnant. Do I wish that I could see her work over the next year? Sure I do. I think she's a great character. I enjoy her in-ring work. But this is her family. Why not? Why not do it? Who cares if she was champion? Personal decision. She can do what she wants. We get a super chat from Maurice and says, who's your pick for the mystery entrant in the casino ladder match at Double or Nothing? I'm going with Brian Cage. Can't wait for Double or Nothing. I think it would probably be Brian Cage. I'll go with him. Maybe a Gulak. That would be an interesting one. Any thoughts, Denise?
Well, I think Brian Cage would be a good one, especially because like it would be like if the time is going to be for something like that to happen, have it be now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go ahead and get into this Raw. And again, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air, and we will get to them as the segments unfold. But if you want to ask, 10 questions every single week about really anything, subscribe to Fightful Select. We had an update on FTR, their new name, the Revival. We had updates on Gulak. We had updates on the Lio Rush situation. We had updates on Roman Reigns' status. Just a ton of stuff. Some scoops ahead of The Last Ride, episode 2. We're going to have some more on that this week as well. But there's plenty of stuff over at FightfulSelect.com. Plus, just so many extra podcasts. Show us a little bit of love. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Oh, boy. So that weird line last week that they made Charlie...
It came back.
Oh, it came back so much. They said, here we go. This could be the greatest wrestling match ever, and doubled down on it. And I was like, man, this is so weird. And I had people that had the balls to say to me, Denise, well, it could be. How do you know? Because it hasn't happened. Okay, well, then why didn't they say that Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy tonight could have been the best wrestling match ever? Why didn't they say that Baron Corbin versus Elias could have been? Hypothetically speaking, any match that hasn't happened could be the greatest match of all time. I could challenge Denise to a match, and we could say, this could be the greatest wrestling match of all time. And it could be. Would it?
It really could.
No, because I'd have to carry Denise, because she's greener than goose shit. But
that's kind of messed up, man. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get a victory.
See, and that's just like, of course, you could say that, but it doesn't make it happen. And Edge hasn't wrestled a match in 9 years, a match. Randy Orton is very good, but, they're really hammering this home, Denise.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we all know that it's just, we're living a day and age where nobody can agree on anything. Like, I used to think that everybody at least had to agree on, like, love is the most important thing, or simple things like money is everything. No, people don't agree on even things that you may really, truly in your heart 100% believe. So it's not like, there's just too many different stuff. Like, people, like, there's so many different types of wrestling out there, so many different companies that bring so many different types of stuff. But so because of that, I see it as something that's so impossible to even comprehend. Like, I could have the best match ever, you could have the best match ever, whatever our picks are, and no one could agree with us. But at the same time, it's kind of funny because she said it last week and it hit everybody so hard. Like, what the hell did she mean by that? And then we hear it again this week that it's having us talk about it. So I see it as, if we're talking about it, then let's roll with it. But at the same time, I don't really understand it. And I did like that Randy Orton brought that up where he's like, oh, I have to explain it to you guys. And he starts talking about the initials of the company. I liked that.
Yeah, and I mean, it is the thing where they're kind of playing off of people who know that wrestling was a dirty word in WWE. They're playing off of that. Orton says he doesn't need ladders or chairs. He needs a ring and a referee. And he says that athletes can't do what WWE wrestlers do. And hey, if you read my story on Vince McMahon and Rob Gronkowski, you would know that's true. But Orton says WWE superstars can't do what Orton does. Edge interrupts him and says that this was just a backup plan for Orton. They've wrestled before in 2004, and their skills are much different now. And I love that he started a monologue, but Randy Orton's like, shut up, are you doing the match or not? I love that. I thought that was great. And then as soon as Edge said yes, Orton's like, cool, I don't gotta listen to this shit. I'll see you later.
Well, his comeback, right off, you could... Edge fed off of that. He's like, yeah, dude, what do you think? Of course this match is on. And that's the thing about Edge and Randy Orton, is that the reason why this is so enticing to all of us is because of the storyline. The storyline is good and it's different, and you can tell that they have some sort of input in what is going on creative-wise. I mean, I don't know that for sure. That's just my instinct about that. And so because of that, I think that's why it's good. Now, I hope that obviously the second match that they do is a whole lot better than the first, because I did think the first was really disappointing. And, obviously I don't want to say that, but I just think that with the second match, they have a lot riding on the fact that they're calling it the greatest wrestling match ever, where it's like now it's going to be judged at a different scale. It's not going to be judged like a Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins match. No, we're going to be judging it differently. Everybody's going to have really high hopes, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
And there is a certain level of cynicism from myself about them calling this that, because of how the first match ended up. It was 35 minutes, and it didn't need to be more than 20 at the most. I keep saying if somebody put together a 15-minute cut of their match, I'd probably think it was really good. But they didn't need that long. And when they come back and they say that, they know what they're doing. They know that this wasn't received exceptionally well. Even Edge doubled down on it, and that's surprising to me because usually his approach to things is pretty grounded. Anakin JMT says, not normally a fan of Cornette, but I imagine his epic triggered rant about best match ever would indeed be epic. I don't know. Maybe. I think Alex's would be better. Make sure you guys tune in to Sour Graps. Yeah. If you're going to listen to somebody be ridiculous, at least listen to Alex. He's at least got some morals among him. Rob Wilkins says, are you guys watching Dark Side of the Ring tomorrow night? Yeah, I am. The Owen Hart one. Have you been watching these, Denise?
So I've watched a few. I haven't watched all of them yet, but I am definitely, this is one of the ones where like when they released the names of the ones that they were going to do, I was like, I got to see this one. So I will definitely be watching. I'm a little bit nervous because, you know, I'm sure they're going to be bringing up some things that maybe not everyone's going to want us to hear. Yeah. But then again, that's why we're tuning in, and that equals ratings. So, but yes, I'm really excited.
Did you see that the first Owen Hart shirt in like 20 years has dropped?
I did not see that actually.
Pro Wrestling Tees
that afterwards.
Pro Wrestling Tees did a thing with Martha Hart and Dark Side of the Ring. They put out a couple Owen Hart shirts. Now the funny thing is, like back in the day, the wrestling shirts for a long time used to always have like people's face on them and stuff, and they went out of style. Now those are back in style. So I see that Owen Hart one, and I'm like, damn. That's a cool
You know who has really good shirts too? Like, not to like be blasting anybody out, but I think that I found some unique shirts at Spencer, some unique wrestling shirts that like nobody else has, because I don't think anybody expects to see them there. Yeah. And I haven't heard a lot of fans say they find shirts there, but anyways. But one of the things that I was seeing though is how like, you know, his wife obviously doesn't want him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's really interesting, the argument of how people say like whether or not his wife should have that final say. Sure. And some people are like she should, some people are like she shouldn't, and like obviously I have my opinions, but I think that within itself, just that little tidbit alone is like so interesting, because you could really see things both directions.
Anakin JMT just said, I watched the UWF Dark Side of the Ring. What a unique person Herb Abrams was. Holy crap. Yeah, I really actually enjoy these ones like about Herb Abrams that I didn't know anything about. I watched the Road Warriors one, and I was like, okay, there wasn't anything really there in there that I didn't know about. And in fact, they left out a lot of stuff that WWE's own documentary had in it. So there are some I like definitely more than others. Like, to me, Brawl for All, nothing new in there. Bart Gunn talking was nice. The Road Warriors one, nothing really new there either, but we do still have Raw to talk about. My gosh, we've still got so much to get into. Seth Rollins is in a suit with Buddy Murphy, and he's running down Rey Mysterio. He says what's happened to him was unfortunate, but it was a necessary cathartic sacrifice to help him. And that brings out Humberto fucking Carrillo. But he got his ass kicked real quick. Buddy Murphy hit him with that good finisher. To me, I'm like, why couldn't this have been Akam of Authors of Pain? Like, him standing behind Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins would have been just really good. Like, he's the muscle behind a lot of these little guys, but still, I thought this was pretty solid. I'm all for Humberto Carrillo losing.
It was funny because one of the things I was thinking about was Rey Mysterio gets thrown over the roof. Yeah, he lands on a second roof, whatever. But the point is, he got thrown over a roof. He almost went blind with what Seth Rollins did to him. And out of everybody who came out to defend him, Humberto. Yeah. I was like, well, there you go. Rey's making the right friends, I guess. I was actually, the problem with that is because, like, you see Humberto come out with Buddy Murphy, but because Humberto hasn't had any wins, or, you know, we don't believe his character or whatever it is, like, it just doesn't make it impressive. Like, you want to have somebody come out that you're like, oh, he's going to come out and defend Rey's honor against Buddy Murphy. Like, oh, Buddy Murphy should be worried. But, you know, obviously we didn't get that with this. And for the most part, this was a pretty fast one.
Yeah, it was. And Rollins instructed Murphy to attack Humberto after the match. But Aleister Black makes a save that sets up their match later in the night. So, Aaron J's fan says, I felt the Road Warriors one was actually about Hawk. It really was. That's about it. We see Liv Morgan backstage. She says that her mother is her hero because she never quit. She brings up losing to Charlotte. Says she's determined to become Raw Women's Champion. I like this. She doesn't ignore the fact that she lost. She was like, yep, I lost. Charlotte's really good. I'll get better. I thought this was pretty harmless and pretty good.
I thought it was okay. Personally, I thought that I would have phrased it differently, because in the beginning I was like, why is she talking about her mom? I was like, are we doing like a mom theme here? Like, I didn't get it like right away. So because of that, I actually thought it could have been like reworked a little bit differently, rewired a little bit differently for the point to come across like, hey, I felt like I understood more of the promo from what you just said right now than the actual promo. So because of that, I do think it could have been rewired differently.
Yeah, admittedly, I thought this was like a discarded Mother's Day promo or something like that. Like, I thought they meant to do it the day after Mother's Day, but...
No, I thought it was going to be like we're doing a mom thing now, because you know what I thought, actually? I thought like, because Becky made this announcement that she's going to be a mother, all the women are going to come out and talk about how their mothers inspire them. That's what I thought they were going with it. And then when they did it, and I went on Twitter and people were like, oh, this was great. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's what happened.
Charlotte Flair defeated Ruby Riot. She came out and talked about Sasha being Bayley's lackey, and she says that Ruby Riot has something to say to her and she knows it. And I'm like, really? What? Okay. But Ruby Riot is now 0-8 since coming back to TV. Like, I don't... Oh, okay, sure. But Ruby's really good. Like, I've missed watching her work. She's just really awesome. And Riot does a senton, knees into the buckle, goes for a submission attempt that I liked a lot. But Charlotte gets the win with a figure 8. I think Ruby needs a tag partner, some wins, or a move to SmackDown really, really badly.
She needs anything at this point. Like, there's really nothing. There's no story. There's no interest. She needs something to get her, to get her back to we know where she can be at. But at least she's showing up. She's getting matches in. Yeah, she's not winning, but at least we're seeing her a little bit more consistently.
Yeah. I thought this was fine. Charlotte wins. She's on both brands. Okay, fine. Looks like she's going to be on SmackDown here and there. I don't like the brand-to-brand invitation. I think it's stupid. I think that it's wild card all over again, and people are like, oh, well, they're only doing this because of the pandemic. And I'm like, well, then why'd they do it last year? And then why'd they bring in NXT talent in January of 2019 and said, oh, well, we don't know what brand they're going to be on. They're going to be on all the brands for 4 months. And then, hold on, half of them weren't even on TV. Nikki Cross and EC3 weren't even on TV for a long time. Lacey Evans was brought up, and all she did was walk back and forth and then got put into a title match. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Then, right after the wild card, they did the invasion. So it's like the whole year, the brand split didn't mean anything. And the reason I want the brand split to mean something is so when this does happen, we're like, whoa, well, that's important because it doesn't happen very much. WWE doesn't want to build stars, though, but what do you think of this brand-to-brand invitation?
So, like, what I was going to say is that, like, I think the problem is that they just overcomplicated. You mentioned the fact that people are saying, oh, they're doing this because of the pandemic. Okay, so just say, hey, guys, we're in an icky situation right now, so we're going to bend the rules a little bit, and that's it. We're going to have people go from roster to roster instead of the whole 4 times a year, because I was confused with the 4 times a year. I was like, each wrestler 4 times a year, or like four SmackDown guys, or 4 Raw. So what is it? Is it wrestlers or instances?
Is it them? I don't know. They haven't said.
See,
but
there you go.
I assume it's instances per wrestler, but here's the thing. Is it appearances and in-ring? What is it? Because I could have sworn WWE just called up Bianca Belair and sat her on the bench for the last month. Didn't that just happen? Didn't they just bring her up and they're like,
and
oh, well.
She was gone.
And now all of a sudden she's not on the show. They just brought Ruby Riot back and she hasn't won a single match. They willingly took both Jey Uso and Akam off TV because their tag team partners are hurt. So I saw somebody say, when one leg is broken in a tag team, all 4 are broken. And I was like, man, that's how WWE treats it. Like, it's their fault that people aren't protected and made stars. They've got an entire roster of people they could bring up. All they had to do, like you said, say, hey, we're temporarily suspending the brand split because we're all in the same place already. They're not in different towns. Why not do this right now? And I get it, this is somewhat of an escape from the coronavirus, but it's okay to mention it because your viewers are not stupid. They know what's going on. They know what's happening. And they also, by the way, just released a bunch of really good people. They didn't re-sign Drew Gulak. They released EC3. They released Sarah Logan. They released Rusev. They released a bunch of people who were good. Deonna Purrazzo, who should have been in a tag team with Chelsea Green on Raw when they were brought up in December. All kinds of weird stuff. They don't get out of their own way. They make things overcomplicated, and I think they meant well with this rule. I think that they thought they were doing something good. I think that they thought, oh, well, maybe the detractors will be a little bit more okay with this if we explain it. Yeah, but the thing is, one, you're saying per year, which indicates that this is going to be around longer than a year, which I don't want. And we know you're not going to follow the rule. We know you're not going to follow the rule.
Because by the time the whole 4 instances is up, like, it's not like anyone's going to be counting. I mean, yeah, people are going to be counting, but not like the regular average viewer is not going to be counting how many times Baron Corbin has been on Raw or whatever.
Luckily for the viewer at home, our Fightful Resources section is going to keep track of it for you. We've got AEW, WWE, NXT rosters. We've got injury and inactive updates, ratings. We have contract updates. And now we have the brand-to-brand invitation tracker. Hot dog.
That's why I corrected myself. I was like, I know Sean's going to have that. Never mind. Let me take it back.
Those articles do really well for us, so I'm pretty happy. But Anakin says, I doubt if 2 members of New Day were out, they'd keep the third off TV. Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised that they've still had Xavier off TV as long as they have. I figured they'd be like, come on down to Orlando, wheelchair yourself in and play a trombone next to them. I thought it would happen. Victor Holland said, I really wish the NWA would have brought in Crime Time, I Love Me, Shad, and JTG. Give us gold, give us gold, give us gold. Yeah, I think they would have been a real good fit for NWA, and here's to hoping for a miracle, and that Shad is somewhere safe, but just unable to contact somebody, and that changes very, very soon. Well, MVP interrupted Bobby Lashley's interview and says he needs to focus on the WWE title. Says that Lana's getting in the way of Lashley's title aspirations. We'll get back to that. Oh boy, R-Truth says he's going to beat Lashley and go for his 401k championship, and during the match, he does that Pretty Ricky gimmick, and I know that he does it on social media. Thank you to everybody who sent me the tweet saying, oh, he does it on social media. I'm aware. I follow like every wrestler on social media to some degree. It does not work here. Oh, God, it's so bad, Denise.
Yeah, it's not funny, and it's not even, like, stupid funny. You know, like, stupid funny where you can at least laugh because it's so dumb? No, it's neither. It's just like, okay, so you have, like, some fake teeth in your mouth. All right, what else? And he has so much. Like, every time he's had those, like, really funny moments. I mean, look at that segment he had with Brock Lesnar. Come on, that was gold. And we've seen so many other moments like that for him, for R-Truth. So he doesn't have to do that in order to get over with the audience or, you know, have something really good. Like, the fans, he's one of those guys where he comes out and the fans are listening to, like, they're waiting to be entertained by him. We don't always wait to be entertained by someone, and I feel like we are like that with R-Truth.
Yeah. And after the Lesnar thing, Lesnar wanted to work more with R-Truth, so that goes to show you. Now, Lashley kicks R-Truth's ass, does this great fireman's carry where he slams R-Truth into the ring post, and R-Truth like spins around, hits a full Nelson slam, taps Truth out to a full Nelson. MVP is waiting for him on the stage, and Lana is livid. She is not happy at all. I'm interested to see where that goes. I wonder if she costs him the title. But Anakin JMT sends a super chat and says, R-Truth cannot pull off this stupid gimmick. Rare thing he can't pull off. At this point, I'd only be interested in it if he rolls up Gronk during Inner Circle versus Elite on AEW on Saturday. Yeah, R-Truth is very talented and can do almost anything. Nobody can get this gimmick over. Billy Bob Teeth were funny for about a week in 2003, Denise.
Yeah, with the little nose.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the little nose and the little glasses.
Oh God. Yeah. It's just this isn't funny anymore. Ugh. It's not good. But we have Asuka. She's doing her celebration. There are balloons everywhere. And I thought Kairi Sane was a very good ring announcer.
She was a lot of fun.
She was, like when she goes, and now. I was like, oh man, that sounds pro. And she pulls out a recorder and starts playing it. The lamest instrument of all time. Everybody hates the recorder. It's the most...
What?
Don't tell me that you like recorders.
That is the only instrument I ever learned how to play. You didn't learn Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Hell no.
Everyone learned how to play the flute when they were in school, okay? And it was amazing, and I felt very proud of myself.
You actually liked the recorder?
Yes, they taught me how to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I played it over and over again. I mean, now I don't remember it, but I did know it for a really long time. That's why I was like, man, can Kairi please have finished her song? I loved seeing her with her recorder.
I mean, I loved seeing her with her recorder, but the thing is, I've never even known longtime players of the recorder to even like a recorder. It sucks, but Kairi Sane is amazing. Nia comes out and calls Asuka a placeholder, and then Asuka beats her ass. So backstage, Kairi's playing her recorder again, and it's amazing. And Nia attacks her. Asuka finds Denise and kicks her ass, or finds... Did I say...
I thought she finds Denise. Yeah, you're like, no. She finds Denise and kicks her ass.
I wish she would have found Denise and kicked her ass for liking the recorder. I was reading a comment, Anakin saying Denise triggered Sean. She did. On her birthday.
How about Sean triggered me on my birthday?
I wish Asuka would have beaten up Denise on her birthday for saying nice things about a recorder. But she just pushes Nia and kicks her in the head. I can't believe I almost said Denise. Fantastic. This really makes Nia look like a punk and makes Asuka look dominant, but Asuka's not going to lose that title right away.
No, and let's have dude, she's the best thing we have right now on TV. Every single time, whatever she does. I mean, come on, she made her riding in an elevator fun, okay? Not a lot of people can sit there and say they were entertained by seeing someone ride an elevator. And we felt that way when we saw Asuka because she just has that much charisma. And she's just so fun. And she's I feel like she's bringing something different. And you can really see that she has so much charisma and personality. It's oozing out of her. Even if you don't want her to have personality, she's going to have personality even when she's trying not to let her personality out. And I like that I like that. I want to keep seeing Asuka. So keep that belt on her. Keep her doing stuff.
Yeah, I love Kairi Sane using the flute or the recorder, and somebody said, oh, be careful, Sean, they'll make it her gimmick next week. Hope they do. She'd be awesome at it. She's hilarious. She's very entertaining. James O'Rourke, though, says, damn good show tonight. If I had anything to criticize, it would be the Asuka segments. I really enjoyed them, but they were a little confusing, which intrigues me more. I didn't think they were confusing. I thought they were pretty good. And Kairi's English was very good, too.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it.
I'll tell you what I didn't like. WWE Women's Tag Team title match. I liked the match just fine. Billie Kay hit a scoop brainbuster on Nikki, but they lost via DQ. There was a sloppy hot tag to Alexa. Alexa hit a big punch on Billie after she blasted Nikki with a boot. Then the Twisted Bliss hits, and the pin's broken up by Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce then runs Alexa into the ring post several times and got DQ'd. Now, I heard the ref say, oh, I'm going to DQ you. But after the lame DQs we have seen all month long, I was like, come on, what the hell? And I had people say, I didn't think it was that confusing. Well, then explain to me that the refs are now more strict. Explain to me that this ref is no nonsense. Allow them to have some character or something. Because Denise, for the last 25 years, they have not been calling this a DQ. They have not been DQing people for this for 25 years. They weren't DQing people for pushing off of a ref for the last 25 years. Barely. There was another one, I think it was Seth Rollins, where
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you remember the Hell in a Cell? I think that's where we're at right now.
And they threw that one out. They didn't even DQ him. They just said it was a no contest.
Really? Oh,
No, it was a no
never mind then.
contest.
Well,
Woof.
it's a cheap way to continue the feud. That's all it is, really.
And that's the thing. Somebody said, well, what if the rematch is at Backlash? And I said, this was the rematch. This happened last Monday. Between Raw tonight and SmackDown last Friday, there were 5 rematches of things that happened since WrestleMania. 5.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
backstage, Billy Kay slaps Peyton Royce, and Eloquent says, if Iconic split, I'm fighting someone. I don't think they're splitting. I think they're bonding over this. But do you think a split is coming?
Bonding, Sean? I've never once bonded with any of my female friends by slapping them in the face.
Well, that's how we're going to bond if you keep telling me how much you like the recorder. But they immediately cried and embraced each other, Denise.
That's not a good message for females, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not actually going to hit a female. But, I mean, hey, to be fair, a lot of my best friends are people that I've spent the last 10 years beating the living shit out of, and vice versa. That's just how it is. And, yeah.
And I know I said all of this, right? But I actually liked it. I liked the whole slap and the whole thing just because it was kind of it was unexpected. I didn't really see it coming. And it's not anything that I would have touched, but because, it is what it is. I thought it was funny the way that they reacted, and it kind of played along with their characters. I mean, you've seen white chicks, right? Where they have a BF.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, she had a BF, and that's so falls in line with their character. So that's the one thing my brain automatically went to. I was like, oh, she just had a BF, and that's how she reacted. And the fact that right away she's apologizing and I'm so sorry and this and that and whatever, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Pretty entertaining. Good thing we had another rematch. Shayna Baszler defeated Natalia in a submission match. I'll say this, Samoa Joe is in his wheelhouse in this type of match. He's already good on commentary, but he was really good here. Baszler applied an ankle lock. Natalia put on a sharpshooter, and then Baszler ends up getting the tap with the Kirifuda clutch. I thought this was good for as short as it was, but the real story wasn't in this. It was Natalia also throwing a BF, Denise.
Yeah.
She looked like you at your Super Sweet 16 when you didn't get the Rolls Royce that you asked for.
Oh, man. Is that the vibe I'm giving off? I was like, wait, is that the vibe I'm giving off?
Well, I mean, I saw your net worth on the internet, so.
Oh, I know. I'm a millionaire, by the way.
Fantastic.
I actually liked the whole thing with Natalia afterwards because it's come on, yeah, of course. If she's going to be upset about not winning a match, it's going to be a submission match. So I actually like that they played to that where this actually meant something to her. This wasn't just a match. This was something to honor her family legacy and everything that she represents. So I liked it. Decent match.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm interested to see what happens with Natalia. It's funny because I referenced the Bret Hart, the Bret Hart BF. That's immediately in our vernacular for this show now. I mentioned the Bret Hart BF in '97 where he threw a bitch fit and said, "Frustrated's not the goddamn word for it." And Natalia liked that tweet. Now I'm kind of hoping she just recites old Hart Foundation stuff. And she's like, enough is enough! And it's time for a change! Or she's challenging El Dandy to matches or just anything like that. I think it would be fun if she just did that. We don't really have a lot of, I don't want to say comedy characters because that wouldn't necessarily be comedy, but we don't have a lot of female characters that work in that role.
Right.
I think that she could do really well at that.
Hey, and if it's something different, why not? You don't have to be a specific either or type of character. You can have some different dynamics where you're not necessarily just good or just bad. No, you're kind of sort of in between. You're relatable because that's what a human is. No human is just good or just bad. There's different shades to people.
Yeah, we found out that Denise on her birthday liked the recorder, so shades of gray. Shades of gray, and I'm with you completely.
I'm gonna get myself a flute and I'm gonna relearn how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and watch like next year that's gonna be my performance.
Oh my
or Christmas
God.
or whatever.
But I'm with you. I like the shades of gray. I like being able to have a different reaction to a wrestler every month. Like in AEW, it happens a lot. You see a lot of people that you'll be like, man, I feel for them this month. The next month, you're like, they're an asshole. I think that'd be good.
Right. I think one of those people that's always been good at that is Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, he's always been that type of person.
Backstage, Zelina's faction are all arguing, and it's time for the Kevin Owens show. Reminder, guys, if you want your question or statement read on the air, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. We have interviews up on Fightful with Leo Rush, with Dana Brooke. Who else? My God. Deonna Purrazzo, Jon Moxley, Just Incredible, the Blue Meanie. We got tons of interviews out there. Check out our exclusive section. But hey, like I said, if you want that question or statement read on the air, donate a super chat. Zelina responds to Kevin Owens and says that she knows he wanted a Jerry Springer moment. And I thought she cut a pretty good promo right there. But Owens had said that his win over Rollins came at the price of being banged up, but he's good to go now. And Owens says, hey, by the way, you're not my only guest. Here's Apollo Crews. And I thought that he stole this whole segment, as he was supposed to. He came in there with fire, and he speared Andrade, and he worked that match with a lot of intensity. But there's a lot to get here. Dissension, Kevin Owens is back, Apollo Crews is back. What did you think before we got to the match?
So before we get to the match, I just want to say that I like the fact that we're still seeing Apollo Crews come out and get something, partnering him up with Kevin Owens. That was pretty fresh, I think. So I actually liked that, and I did like the actual tag team match setup itself.
Yeah, I did too. So we had the tag match. Andrade and Owens chopped the shit out of each other. And then Apollo fires up again, gets a great hot tag, and finishes with his awesome tossing powerbomb. That move looks great. He's going to face Andrade next week. He should either win it or get screwed. But man, it'd be the third friggin' match between those, or fourth, effectively, because this one happened too. And they're doing it again next week. So if they do it again at Backlash, which you just know they're going to do, it'd be another one. But then after this match, Zelina, Andrade, and Angel Garza all turn on Austin Theory. I was like, man, is he going back to NXT? Nope, he's not, Denise.
So when this happened, I was immediately like, fridge, like this is not good for Austin Theory. Yes, fridge, okay? Fridge for Austin Theory. I just thought this is not going to be a good thing for him because and this is before I knew obviously what was going to happen at the end. So this is just my thoughts for what happened in this moment. In this moment, I was like, first of all, having Austin Theory separate from the group is no bueno because he still has a lot of things that I think he needs to work on. So being in part of a faction, that covers a lot of some of his flaws, and so it's something that I think he has to be with a faction. And at this point, I thought, oh, this is not good. He's going to go back to NXT, or we're just going to see him flounder in some jobber matches here and there. But I'll say my rest of my thoughts later. But that's just what I thought at this point in time.
Yeah, I did too. I'm completely with you. I was like, damn, it sucks for him. But it didn't suck for him that much. Seth Rollins comes out, and Austin Theory's still there, and it's a very similar situation to Buddy Murphy. He's dejected, he's laying there, and Rollins offers Theory his hand, and it's for this Aleister Black match that he wins by DQ over Buddy Murphy because Rollins sends Theory after Aleister Black, and all three beat him up. Now, it looks like they're going the direction of Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. Aleister Black hasn't lost a singles match clean in a year. I think he should still win this, and I don't know how he can with them looking to keep Seth Rollins over. But if they're looking to keep tearing down Seth Rollins, I think they can do that because Seth is bulletproof. Everybody knows who Seth Rollins is. Shield member, top guy in the Authority, cashed in Money in the Bank, beat Brock Lesnar a bunch of times. We know who he is. He's never not going to be a main eventer. in that regard. But Aleister Black with a win over Seth Rollins, and then you go maybe him and Drew McIntyre face versus face, unstoppable guys in the future. I think that's cool. I like the direction they're going with, like, all this, Denise. And even Buddy Murphy didn't get pinned. He got DQ'd, but he won earlier in the night, too. I think like 4 or 5 people got over in this segment.
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying that the whole thing with Austin Theory, I like the fact that he was somewhat similar to Buddy Murphy when Buddy Murphy lost, and he was just like, still laying outside of the ring, and he was like, really upset that he lost and whatever. And we saw that this week with Austin Theory, and so like I mentioned earlier, I thought he was like dead in the water, done after separating from Zelina and her whole thing. And so when I saw that he was joining up with Seth Rollins, I was like, this is great. Well, I noticed it right when he was still outside the ring. That's when I was like, okay, he's going to join up with Seth Rollins the same way that Buddy Murphy did. And so I really liked that whole aspect of it. And I do want to mention one thing that I realized I didn't mention earlier is that right now with Drew McIntyre, it feels like he doesn't really have an opponent that is, you know what? Actually, I'm skipping. I'll get back to that part later because it all ties in. So I'm trying to make sure to get all of that part. But remind me to tell you the rest of my thought when we get to that match. Just know that with Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory and all of that, I loved all of that. I loved the jealousy that I sensed from Buddy Murphy to Austin Theory giving Seth Rollins that hug and all of that. I liked that.
Rob Wilkins sends a super chat and says, flutes equals this one time at band camp. Rob Wilkins says, $2 towards the next focus camera freak out by the chat. Yes, guys, by the way, I see my own camera. When it goes out of focus, I become aware. Not a lot I can do about it, though. So main event time, and for some reason they felt the need to have a Baron Corbin segment in hour 1, in hour 2, and then it closed the show. They didn't need that, and not a damn person thought Baron Corbin was going to win this match. Not in general, but definitely not after he lost to Elias via a Paul smackage, as they say, last Friday. And they had Drew McIntyre say, Baron Corbin is my dream match. And I was like...
That's sad.
Huh. And I'm like, really? That's funny, because when he wrestles... Or not even wrestles. When he shows up on TV, it's my fucking nightmare. Lashley and MVP joined the fray. Lashley says he's coming for Drew. And the match I thought was pretty good. That's why I specified. Like, when he wrestles, I think it's pretty good, especially when Corbin's not slapping on the old chin lock or the quarter Nelson crossface. I thought this was good. There's a big story in this match, Denise, about Drew kicking out at 1, and it happens a lot. And then finally, Corbin gets a 2 on a deep 6 because for some reason, McIntyre counts down his Claymore. I don't know why. It just literally lets Corbin know about it. But, yeah, McIntyre ends up hitting it off the Boss Man clothesline. I thought this was pretty good stuff. I really enjoyed it.
The match itself was a whole lot better than I expected. It was a really solid match. I liked it. And so here's where everything was tying in that I was going to explain, but then I realized I was all over the place. Okay, so with Drew McIntyre, it feels that right now he's champion, but he doesn't have a championship type feud going on right now. There was no opponent for him that was worthy of, having this feud with a hot champion who just became champion. And the only guy that was Seth Rollins. But it was really bad timing because Seth Rollins is transitioning in characters. It just really didn't align with that. So one of the things that I had forgotten to mention was that everything that's been going on with Bobby Lashley, I love the fact that they're incorporating that and they're sort of building clean up his character in the last few weeks, as we've been seeing, because now he's really the only person left right now that we're seeing consistently every week that can be an actual challenge for Drew McIntyre if he continues his build, and with the whole MVP thing, hopefully that will, we'll see shades of the old Bobby Lashley and have that come into play with Drew McIntyre, because right now Drew McIntyre's reign is like, really nothing like special or amazing or anything like that. So he needs like some sort of feud right now to really make his championship more sustainable, more meaningful. And so that's what I wanted to say earlier on.
Yeah, he is being protected effectively. Like it's just they're doing a really good job. They're doing a really great job. Throwback 27 says, "Give me Drew versus Lashley. Give these guys time to show their true talents. Claymore versus Spear. Thank you, Fightful family, for the past year. Being a part of the chats and stuff has made things better. Thank you for everything. Hey, we appreciate you being here. You're here all the time, and you're always so generous and good to us. And you're a good dude, more importantly than anything. But I think that Lashley is good in theory, because he's like, I think it's like 9 straight falls he hasn't gotten pinned in. He beat No Way Jose. He beat 3 people in the Money in the Bank qualifier. He beat Denzel Dejournette, R-Truth a few times, and Carrillo. But none of those guys really matter in the grand scheme of things. And then, as I mentioned, Aleister Black, who hasn't lost since then, hasn't lost in a year, he beat Lashley at WrestleMania. In like 7 minutes, beat him. So why isn't he in the conversation? Oh, because he's a good guy? That's weird.
Well, I think the Aleister Black thing for me, it's more like, yeah, okay, he beat Bobby Lashley, but who else? Like, there really hasn't been anything else that has been super meaningful. Like, for weeks, we were seeing him just beat up a bunch of jobbers. So, like, it's almost like they were on par. It's just that now they're doing more with Bobby Lashley. But, I mean, they could have easily done that with Aleister Black as well and made him a credible opponent for Drew McIntyre. And I would have loved to see that, and still would. And I'm sure it will happen sometime down the line. But it just kind of feels like at the same time, Aleister Black hasn't had a meaningful feud that I can really like say like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. No, I mean, I remember tidbits here and there, but nothing that was absolutely mind-blowing. And
I don't need to see Lashley beat R-Truth again. I've seen it 3 times since like February. Let's move on. But I do hope he keeps beating people until Backlash, because every win that he gets more important. I get it. They're trying to protect so many people at once, but I'm with Throwback. I'm excited to see this match because they are making an effort to protect Bobby Lashley going into this. He's not lost since WrestleMania. I think he beat Zack Ryder maybe right before Mania too, and Aleister Black's the only person that's beat him in the last, I think, 3 months or so. I know he got beat by Ricochet a couple times before that, but if they hadn't had him lose to Ricochet since the Rusev feud, I think he would be a lot better off, because he was beating Rusev all the time. All the time. Thank you to Goodfella for the super chat. I don't see a message associated with it, but Denise, it's your birthday. Has it been a good one?
It's been a really, really good one. I went to Cracker Barrel yesterday. I ate a lot. Today I had pizza and wings, and I made a terrible cake. I got lots of gifts, and I watched Taylor Swift's City of Lover concert. So all is well.
Well, we thank you for joining us on your birthday, but let the people know where they can join you every day.
Yes, please, guys, come on over. Like, come to my social media and stuff. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo. I live tweet during the shows and all of that stuff. And then YouTube.com is really the big one. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo. Just search me up. I'm still doing my May 31-day challenge, new video every single day. Please go and check it out. I post a bunch of random stuff on there, so hopefully you guys will like it. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo. And I'm almost at 27K, so hopefully I get there, because my goal for the end of the year is 50K. Just fingers crossed. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Awesome. Well, guys, subscribe to us. Leave a thumbs up. Make sure you check out Denise's stuff. But we are back on Wednesday with the List and Your Boy and the Wednesday Night War. Of course, we got Friday SmackDown. And we are here on Saturday for AEW's Double or Nothing. But if you want even more, The Distraction does reviews of wrestling-related movies every week. On Tuesday, they do their TEW gameplay every Saturday, and then they have a new show every Thursday as well. Tons of stuff going on at Fightful. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, we're out.